welcome everybody to our fifth pitch competition. I'm super excited for this. The pitch competitions are always my favorite events, and we have a great group of startups pitching tonight for $500 in cash, plus a bunch of other prizes with our partners and sponsors. So it's going to be really exciting. Let me let in some more people here, and I'm going to turn off the waiting room, because that is that's going to get annoying. All right, there we go. People should be able to start just coming right in. All right. So we're going to kick things off in about 10 minutes. We're going to let some more people come in. What I would love for everyone to do is please open up the chat on the bottom, and please introduce yourself, where are you from, your business. Feel free to drop in any links, emails, LinkedIn, whatever you want. Your Entre profile, if you want to do that too, if you have a profile on Entre, and we can start at least getting connected to some of the other people here as we let everyone join. And we have 4 amazing judges. One of the judges had to drop out Kofi because of a death in the family, but our other judges will hold it down. They're all fantastic investors and just, advisors, entrepreneurs themselves as well. And we have 3 amazing sponsors also. Net Capital, Rob is going to talk about Net Capital. And then we have Camille, who's going to talk about Idea Motive as well. And I'll let them get talking here in just a second. As people come in, I want to do, for those of you who aren't familiar with Entre, we are a social network for entrepreneurs, investors, and freelancers. So we do these events, and we also have an app, which I'm going to show you right now, to help entrepreneurs get into a like-minded community and really just connect with people a lot easier. So what we're doing is really giving everyone who classifies himself as self-employed a place to go to come and connect with each other. So here you'll see, this is our homepage, just a standard kind of feed where people can ask questions, drop in links, they can launch their products, they can post upcoming things, they can get feedback on their idea, all sorts of interesting things, right? Next, we have our search. So what we want to do is make it super easy to find who and what you're looking for. So if you're looking for specific content in an industry, you can do that in one click. Same thing with location. If you're looking for content in a certain location, if you're looking for certain people, for example, an investor or something like that, you can search in one click, find and filter all the investors or developers on the platform very easily. And then you can check out their profile and you can connect with them in a couple of clicks. Same thing if you want to find certain people in your city or in a particular area, or if you're looking to connect with people in a specific industry as well. So if you're in, whatever, health, or if you're in AI, you can filter all the people in AI in one click. That just makes it very easy for entrepreneurs to find and get connected to the people that they want. You can also post and check out upcoming events. So a lot of these are our events, but other people are also posting events. This is Startup Bootcamp, one of our other partners too. They have a great events coming up. And then here's all of our other events and, just interesting events going on in the community. Then we have jobs. So if you're looking for a co-founder, if you're looking for a CTO, if you're looking for a VA or any other things, you can find and apply for jobs, or you can search and apply for jobs or gigs. We want this to be something where, people can find simple contractors, freelancers, but also co-founders and jobs for their startups as well. And then you'll notice some people have like a pro badge. So that gets them access to all of our events for free. And they also get access to all these deals and discounts with our partners. So we have over 40 partners now that offer discounts or a deal or a special offer to our community. So everyone can sign up for that. It's super easy, and we made it pretty affordable for everyone to join that. So our whole goal is creating just a simple way for entrepreneurs to get all the things that they want in one place, and really just create this hub and platform. And we do that through these events, obviously, but we also want to really help people with everything going on right now, and getting connected and network with other people in the digital world. So thank you for everyone who's here right now. I know we're going to have some people popping off and on with everyone working from home and kids running around and everyone making dinner and whatnot. So thanks everyone for being here. And without further ado, I want to kick things off and have Rob from Net Capital, one of our sponsors, share a little bit about what they have going on and all the things that they're doing to help startups as well.
Thanks, Michael. Really appreciate it. And thanks for the intro on Entre. And really excited to be here. And thanks everyone for taking the time. I'm super excited to watch the pitches and learn a little bit more about all the great companies we have here. Net Capital is super excited to be involved with this event and Entre in general. Net Capital is an online funding portal and securities platform where companies can raise capital online, and in a world right now where no one can meet face to face, as we all know from being on this call, being able to do anything with your business online is super helpful. But obviously, raising capital is something that all of us entrepreneurs need to do, or at least most of us need to do at some point. And so Net Capital aims to make that easy. Companies can come on Net Capital, raise capital from anybody. It does not matter whether or not the investors are accredited or not. And we bundle all of those investors into one line on the company's cap table. So we try to make it really easy, really simple. And for anyone in the Entre community who also wants to be an investor, it's a great way to kind of flex your muscles. And if you aspire to be like some of the judges on the panel here, you can invest at much lower amounts. So it's a really a fun way to be an added part of the entrepreneurial community. Raise capital for your company, or dip your toe in the investing and angel investing waters. So if anyone has questions about anything about Net Capital related, I'll be around, and I've put my information in the chat. So happy to be a resource to the entire community and hopefully be as helpful as possible. But with that, I'll leave it to the main show.
Amazing. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, and I threw the website in there as well, and I know you'll drop some more contact in there, but I love what you guys are doing. I think equity crowdfunding is really going to become the future of early stage startups for sure. So appreciate all that you guys are doing for the startup ecosystem. And I believe you're also doing $1,000 to all the finalists, right? In services if they do a Net Capital campaign. Is that right also?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So if any of the finalists are looking to raise money, I'm happy to chat with them after. But right now, I think they need to be focused on their pitches and getting the win here. That's 100%, the important thing.
100%. Yeah, no, really appreciate it, Rob, and definitely use Rob as a resource too, because he's a great guy to know in the startup ecosystem, and they have a lot of connections as well and can help point you in the right direction too. So thanks so much for being here, Rob.
Yeah, and thanks so much for having us.
For sure. And next up, Camille from Idea Motive.
Yeah, thank you for this intro, Mike. This is Camille, and I'm calling you from Poland, Europe. And it's so wonderful that I can be here with you being so far away and not even living home. So I represent Idea Motive, where we build software for startups, possible startups like yours. And apart from having a 5-star rating on Clutch, Idea Motive has been recognized by various analytics hubs like Crunchtable or Top Developers, which aim at helping businesses find the right software services companies. So see for yourself how we have been helping entrepreneurs like you for so many years now. And when we get to call, very often I hear from our clients that web page, mobile apps, software in general, is one of the most expensive things in their budgets. And so it was for a client, The Universe from New York City. To optimize costs, they had software providers from around the globe, like South America, Asia, India, Eastern Europe. But after a year of working together, whenever they needed software, their CTO would say, hey, we need Idea Motive for that. And so we became their unique providers. And why is so? Well, I believe it's because our engineers are no different than those from our American universities, but they are twice as cheap. The only downgrade here is the 6 hours time zone difference, but is it really worth paying double just to work in the same time zone? If it sounds interesting to you or someone you know that could benefit from software development in reasonable prices, just give me a call. And as I promised Mike, and to give something away for this amazing community, we co-sponsor today's prize. So for the third place in today's pitch competition, you get $250 credit on our services. For second place, you get $500, and winner gets as much as $1,000 for our services. And what can you do with that? If you think about starting a marketplace business for that instance, we can have a workshop session with our tech experts. Or maybe you want to push your first mobile app. So let's build an actual MVP so you can enter the market with the risk. We can do all that and even more, like mood boards, designs, and of course, some software. It all depends on your needs, so just use it. And for those who are interested in such services, regardless of today's pitch competition result, just give me a call and we'll see how we can help. So I will be posting a link in the chat box in 1 second, and it will be really, I will be really happy to have some morning chit chat calls with you guys. I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you for having me tonight. Enjoy the event, and I keep my finger crossed for your awesome pitches. So good luck, guys, and see ya.
Fantastic. Yeah, thanks so much for being here. And I dropped the link in there. I'm not sure if it's.
Oh, yeah?
I'm pretty sure it's the right one. The higher team.
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
So yeah. So Idea Motive's been a great partner for us and for a lot of the startups in our network. And I think it's a big strategic advantage if you can outsource development to trusted developers and a trusted team overseas. You can save a ton of money on that, and I know a lot of companies that have utilized that, including ourselves. So I would definitely take them up on that offer, and you know, get some of your tech or your app or software, whatever that may be, you know, done a little bit cheaper with a really solid team of expert developers. So thanks so much for being here, man. Glad to have you at another one of our events.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And that leads us into our judges. So thank you so much for our sponsors. And I want to kick off the judges with Sydney, because her company Venture X is also kind of a partner of the event too. They have a really cool product and community, and they help a lot of startups too. So I'd love Sydney to you know, give a little introduction into yourself.
Thank you so much, Michael. So it's a great pleasure to be here and meet all of you. Very excited to see the pitches. So what we are sponsoring with tonight is offering up to an $800 value package at VentureX platform. And what it does is that it helps startups get connected to active funds. So you would get a 1-year subscription for all of the finalists to this platform. And what we want is that we want to democratize your business and your business metrics in order to give you the best chances for funding all around North America. So that is what the platform does. And all the finalists today can't wait to see your pitches. You will have access to that great package. So a little bit about myself. I'm an angel investor actually up here in Canada. I'm located in Montreal, but we do invest in both Canada and the US. We are follow-on early stage tech investors. So we are industry agnostic, and we do invest in almost every industry. And you know, if we don't, then we do also provide referrals and things like that to other partners as well, to make sure that we can provide the best help we can for our community. Because after all, startups and investors, we're all mentors and mentees at some point, and it's everyone to really be there and help each other, which is why I'm a big fan of what Michael is building and his great team that he has as well. Yeah, and so very excited to meet all of you, and looking forward to seeing what amazing and innovative ideas come onto the stage tonight.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being here, Sydney. And yeah, definitely drop in, we'll drop in the links for Venture X so that everyone can sign up, and definitely take advantage of that and get connected to Sydney, because she's a great person to know in the startup space, especially if you're in Canada. But regardless where you're at, she's a good person to know for sure. Next up, let's have Scott Kalick. I think you're still with us, so
Oh,
I'd
I'm
love to have
definitely
you
still
share.
with
I'd love to have
Can't
you.
get rid of me that easily. Hi. Hey, first of all, to the contestants, thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this. Really excited to see your products and your pitches, and really excited to be here with you. And as an added bonus, I'm a business coach for startups, and each of you will get a complimentary 1-hour business coaching session, which you can redeem at your convenience. And so I work with a lot of startups, really excited to just talk and hear your stories and see where we can help each other. So a little bit about me. I live in Pittsburgh, part-time, Colorado part-time, part owner of Entre. And my background is I was a business owner for 25 years. I started a company in its inception, grew it for 25 years and exited in 2013. And I'm giving back now. I really bond with founders and owners of companies. It's who I am. And those are the people that I really love to be around and work with. So thank you for being here, and excited to hear everybody. And I'll defer to the next judge.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thanks so much for being part of another event, Scott. And yeah, he's been pretty much one of the key people that's involved with Entre, as an investor, but also as an advisor, and just, working with myself and our team to help us, grow what we're doing. He's invested in us, some other startups within our network. He actually invested in one of the companies from our first pitch competition, which is really cool. And just a great person to know. And I would definitely take him up on his offer to book a call with him, because it's priceless. And so thank you again for being at another one of these and being a part of this. And next up, we'll have Ben. I'd love to have you share a little bit more about yourself and everything that you've done.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for inviting me to be a judge today. Ben Zises. I am a former founder, experienced raising $2 million from more than 30 investors, all in the seed stage. I could not raise a future Series A round of funding for my startup. So while I am I say failed founder, certainly, as Scott had pointed out to me the other day, there's certainly no failures. It's all an experience, and you learn from it. And I've now transitioned to the investor side, and am a very active angel investor focused on consumer products, consumer category, as well as real estate tech. My portfolio can be seen at superangel.vc, which is just my website where I operate. I've invested in about 30 companies, both my own money, and I've created syndicates where I've pulled together other investors that I've got to co-invest alongside me. And so with myself and other investors, I've personally invested $2.5 million in approximately 30 companies, and nothing more fun than working and supporting founders who are certainly doing the hard work. Having been in a founder's shoes, I can appreciate just how much goes into it, blood, sweat, and tears. And at this point, just love supporting founders in their life cycle. So that's my story.
Really appreciate it, Ben. And yeah, I think you're branding yourself super well as the Super Angel. It's awesome. And also a great follow on Twitter. For those of you that are on Twitter, I would definitely recommend following Ben and keeping up with him for sure. And I know you have a fund that you're going to be announcing soon too. So that's really exciting stuff. And I mean, some of the companies that you have invested in already are just doing incredible. So we're really glad to have you a part of this, and thank you for coming out for another event.
My pleasure.
And our last judge, Candace, are you? I know your video's off, but are you able to share more about yourself and Can you come on? Let's see if she can hear me. If not, we're gonna have to roll ahead, and hopefully Candace will. I mean, I see her here, so we'll just we'll kick things off with the first company, and because we're already kind of a little bit over here, and I want to make sure we have time. Before we get started, I'm gonna drop a bunch of stuff into the chat right now. This is pretty much everything that you need to get involved with Entre or myself. If you want to reach out to me personally, email or whatever that might be to get involved with our community or events or any ideas that you might have. All of our social links, we just rolled out a podcast, so you can check that out. You can join our app for free. And then I also dropped the link in for our launch party next week. So we're going to be making some big announcements and some partnerships next week. We're going to be doing a ton of giveaways at our launch party. We're going to give away a bunch of Entre Pro memberships for free. We're going to give away some of these shirts that we have here, some Entre shirts and some Entre gear. We're just going to be, I think we're going to give away some gift cards and stuff too. We're just going to make it a really fun event. And that's totally free. So you can sign up for a launch party, come hang out with us, have a good time, and really looking forward to hearing these pitches. And I'm excited to kick things off with Ruby Ride. So I think Jeff is going to present here. Jeff, are you there? And can you come on screen?
All right, we are here.
All right. Oh, Jeff and okay. So you guys are double teaming it. All right. Jeff and Aiden from Ruby Ride. Fantastic. Do you want to pull up your deck here and then we'll get started. I just want to make sure that the judges have access to the scoring sheet and then that's pretty much it. And we're ready to rock. So what I'm going to do for those of you who weren't aware, each startup gets 5 minutes to pitch, and then there's 5 minutes for judges Q&A. We're going to be pretty strict on the 5 minutes to pitch. The 5 minutes for Q&A, obviously, we're not going to cut people off if they have to answer a question. But I'm going to get the stopwatch ready right now. And Jeff, you can kick it off whenever you're ready.
Okay, so the screen's up. Everything's good?
Yep. Yeah, you're good.
All right, so I'm glad to be here. My name is Jeff from Ruby Ride. So every once in a long while, a problem reveals itself. It's so pervasive and so entrenched that most people can't even see it. It's a problem that impacts every facet of life, your health, wealth, education, access to employment, even like the quality of the air you breathe and the beauty of the city you live in, right? So when a group of passionate people invents a solution, it merits a second look. And when that solution is market-based, it doesn't require decades of investment. You can take it out on the street and grow very quickly. We think that makes it even more attractive. And finally, when that solution goes straight to the consumer, brings with it the potential for phenomenal financial rewards, in our eyes, it becomes a no-brainer. And of course, we are that group, and we're solving transportation challenges. Especially in low-density markets where the car reigns supreme. We have been quietly testing and building our solution for the last 5 years. We're on the final steps of our roadmap to finally give Americans everywhere really a better way to use their cities without having to own a car. So, let's see, there we go. 250 million Americans live in places we might call suburbs. So those are cities and towns with a population density low enough that driving is really the only way to be productive and effective. So Uber and Lyft tell us that they're solving this, but the facts say otherwise. Their use in these car-dependent places is about 75 times less on a total traffic basis than their best markets. So what they've really done is whet people's appetites to have them realize that they would like to have something better. But for now, everybody has to own a car. They're spending $1.2 trillion a year, or about $9,500 a household. 46% of the population say the value they get from driving and from owning a car is less than what it costs them, but they have no options. 30% of this population is actually actively looking for better alternatives. or need one. So there's some reasons that Uber and Lyft haven't been able to solve this. But mainly it's just that it's the wrong product for what the consumer needs in a suburban location, right? They're not looking for one trip. So, if you're trying to, set up a reliable food supply for your family, and somebody sets up a hot dog stand on the corner, that's not really a solution, right? That's a meal. And that's really what Uber and Lyft offer in these kind of environments. Most people in high density areas can walk. They have an area that they live in, they can walk to. If you're in a suburban area, that's not an option, right? So what we're doing is we're basically taking that lifestyle and the walking area and translating that into a service that we can offer people on a subscription. But basically, the kind of trips that Uber and Lyft do serve in those areas tend to not be the regular trips. What we found is the vast majority of trips that people are taking in these areas are short, regular trips. They don't have they're not worth the kind of brain damage that it takes to order a Lyft, to wait for it, to see not get canceled, and then deal with all the anxieties of like who the driver is and all that stuff. So people just don't do it. Only 19% of our trips are commutes, and that's pre-COVID, even lower now. So really the trip people need are these short, regular, quick, easy to hit trips. So that's really what our solution is about. So we've built a model that offers people fixed monthly subscriptions starting from $69 a month up to $299 for unlimited local trips. So they can go as much as they want to. And then we build this kind of ubiquitous transportation system around them in the community they live in, so that there's always something available, right? So it's just we're not just kind of sitting it out there. We actually know who our customers are, and we're able to match supply and demand really efficiently. The service is optimized for those local regular trips that people need to take so that it's reliable. And finally, it's served right now by local employee drivers in their own cars, in the communities that they live in. That's actually one of our requirements, is you have to live in the area to drive. At the end of the day, that's actually a great thing because we have more drivers. Sorry about my kid. I'm going to kill him later. It's more, anyway, so it allows us to really serve more efficiently than like an Uber and Lyft can even try to. Part of our secret is that we really understand cities, and that's my background. And so what we do is we divide a city up into areas that are really kind of self-serving. So if you go into a typical good neighborhood, and I don't mean a quality neighborhood, but a well-balanced neighborhood, about 70-75% of all the trips there are going to start and end in the same area. So when we build systems that are self-contained and take care of that, what we're doing is we're building a system that kind of automatically serves the area. About 15% of the trips are people going into adjacent areas, and then the rest are the long trips. And that's really not what our business is about. There are other solutions for that right now. So,
hey Jeff, I'm gonna have to stop you there because we're over the 5 minutes.
Wow.
And we can,
okay.
Yeah, we can hopefully get into the rest of it during the Q&A from the judges.
Okay.
But so whoever wants to start, Sydney, Scott, Ben, go ahead and kick things off. And yeah, we are going to be pretty strict on the 5 minutes just because we want to be fair to all the startups. So hopefully, yeah, you can answer some of these other questions during the Q&A.
Jeff, first of all, thank you for being here. Great presentation. Just curious, how do you limit the geography that your drivers actually drive to in a certain trip?
Yeah, so it's all place-based. So it's kind of a collection of places. So yeah, it really is kind of regional, so that the drivers are not spread all over the place. We can keep them where they can be super efficient.
Okay, and how do you monetize your margins?
So we monetize. First of all, we keep our cars fuller, about 25 to 30% fuller than like an Uber and Lyft. And so we're making money more of the time. And then we've done enough of this that we know how often people travel, what they're looking for. And these short trips, we can do, drivers can do 7 or 8 trips an hour. And they can do longer trips that are with partners or healthcare partners, and they all pay a lot more. Right?
Okay.
So we're actually able to monetize very well. We're charging it, and we're earning about $73 per passenger hour right now.
Okay. Sydney, Ben, you guys have questions?
Yeah, I have a question about your $400 billion a year opportunity. So as you know, you want to come onto the market and be 5 times better than what's existing and not just a little bit better, right? So what is it that you have? What is your secret sauce that you have that you are confident that once you're able to prove this market with your expertise and your background, that there is a market here in the suburbs that Uber and Lyft won't swoop in and cannibalize it themselves or just take over it completely?
Yeah, I mean, they're not, I mean, they've been trying to do this for 8 years. So it's just, that's not going to happen. Their business model really prevents it. So what we're doing is we've really kind of gotten in and understand what people are looking for in their transportation, what they need, emotionally, regularly from a habit habitually, and providing them a substitute that actually meets all those actual needs. And we're doing it, we're basically giving people the opportunity to get everywhere that they go normally, within about 10 to 15% of the time period, that in a way that costs them about 1/3 of what owning a car costs. And obviously it's greener and there's lots of other benefits as well.
Okay.
So we're saving people a lot of money mostly.
How long have you been in business, and what's your current revenue?
So I've done this. The roadmap has been fairly complex because this is a huge problem, and so I started this really. Let's just knock down the risks and understand what's going on. We're at about $35,000 a month in revenue right now. Recurring revenue from different sources, and we're in 2 different states and a couple different areas. Our revenue is not our goal right now. The goal is to actually, solve some of the business challenges so that we can package this up and scale. So there's some money left on the table as we're really focused on solving specific issues.
Thank you.
I'll ask one question, which I'm sure Jeff has thought a lot about. I'm in the process of reading the Uber book, Super Pumped, and a whole big part of it is around regulatory issues that those companies had with various municipalities and whatnot. Just curious your thoughts on how to approach it with your model.
Yeah,
Thought about.
Fortunately, they bumped their head on that before I had to, because every place that we've gone into, the regulatory environment's been pretty well kind of figured out. And so in some markets, we use the same regulatory system they do. And in some other markets, we look more like a taxi or limo type company. We haven't found any issues. I think I'm more worried about labor issues like, unionizing than any of the regulatory stuff. But typically the areas really like us because it tends to, it's an employee model instead of a contractor. Yeah, so we don't have that's actually, it's always a pain in the ass when you got to work with the regulators. But Uber and Lyft really kind of paved the way for us.
Cool. Last question. Where do you get the name of the company from?
Well, the Ruby is actually named after, inspired by Dorothy's red slippers. So it's a way to move around quickly, the whole kind of tap, tap, tap in your home.
I like it. Thanks so much, Jeff.
Alrighty. And I know we had Candace jumped on just here. I'd love to have, I'm not sure how much of that she caught, but Candace, are you there? And do you want to come on real quick and introduce yourself? And then just let me know if you were able to catch his pitch so that we can adjust the scoring card if needed.
You are going to have to adjust the scoring card. I apologize. I had a wee bit of a childcare issue.
All good.
Welcome to COVID.
Yeah, stuff. I mean, look, it's everyone's working from home. All this stuff happens. So I just wanted to make sure, because what we'll do now is, and this is actually probably better for the startups, we'll take everyone's top 3 scores now from the judges. That way, Ruby Rye doesn't get hurt when we add up the numbers and stuff.
Perfect.
But Jeff, and Ruby Ride, thank you guys so much, and congratulations to everything that you guys have done up to this point in time. That was a great pitch.
Thanks.
But so getting back to Candace, I'd love to have you share a little bit about yourself. Since we missed the introduction, I'd love to have you fill the audience into what you do and everything about yourself and Lightship as well.
Sure, absolutely. So I'm one of the general partners of Lightship Capital. We are a $50 million fund focused on supporting Midwestern entrepreneurs. We invest in founders who are Black, Indigenous, people of color, LGBTQ, women, and the disabled. So those just typically overlooked in venture in 5 key sectors. So consumer packaged goods and services, e-commerce, sustainability, AI, and healthcare. So we're a relatively new fund. We announced our first close back in June, and we are kind of hammering right away at getting toward this $50 million goal. I'm also the founder of Hillman Accelerator here in the Midwest. Supports the same group of people, but gives them great access to talent, funding, and corporate connections. So that's us.
Amazing. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you guys invested in Undock. Is that right? So
That's
Undock.
right.
Undock they actually pitched at our competition back in July, and they got 3rd place. So it's really cool to see like some of the companies from our pitch competitions actually go on and raise funding. So this is wonderful, and we're really glad to have you here. I love what you're doing, especially being from Pittsburgh, and Ruby Ride's from Pittsburgh too, and Midwestern, startups kind of don't really get some of the recognition that I think some of the other coastal startups get. So really glad to have you here. And yeah, I love what Undock and Nash and David and those guys are doing. They're doing great stuff.
They're an incredible squad. We met them because we host an online pitch competition, and they got 1st place in ours. And then we led we led their round. So they raised $1.6 million after your pitch competition, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And they got some other great like folks in the round. So Bessemer and Lair Hippo and Alumni Ventures. Like Nash and his team are really like rocking it out.
Yeah, they're great. And yeah, I'd love to because you guys do the Twitch pitch, right? That's your.
We do.
Okay,
Tuesday and Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on Twitch.
So you should definitely drop a link
sure
for that in there. I think I can grab it here too. But I'd love to if like obviously anyone that's interested in this, like you would love theirs as well. They do a great job with it, and I think it's something really cool that you guys are doing over there. So let me drop in this. Okay, there we go. Yeah. That should work. And wonderful. Well, Candace, thanks so much for being here, and all good on everyone's got stuff going on at home, so no worries. And we'll jump right into our next company, Webblen. And Makai, are you ready to go?
I feel ready. You guys can hear me?
Yep. Can hear you. Do you want to pull up your deck, and let me reset the stopwatch. Oh, real quick, let me just double check the scoring sheet and make sure everyone has that as well, and we're all good. Okay, it looks like everyone's got the only one. Sydney, do you have the scoring sheet? And Candace, do you have the scoring sheet as well?
No,
I
don't.
can send it to you guys. Okay. All right. Let me send you this.
Thank you.
No problem. I'll send it to
just writing things down.
Yeah, you're good. All right, Candace, there you go. And Sydney, let me find you real quick. Where are you at? There we go. Okay. And you each have a tab along the bottom for your scores. And then, okay, Makai, I can see your presentation. Let me set the stopwatch, and we'll be good to go. All right, ready when you are.
So Webblen, find events, build your community, and get paid. Just like a tree is worth more as lumber and a whale is worth more dead than alive, in the attention extraction economy, a human is worth more when we're depressed, outraged, polarized, and addicted. We need radically reimagined technology, infrastructure, and business models that align with humanity's best interests. A quote from the Center of Humane Technology. So what is Webblen? Webblen is a blockchain-based application that builds communities through local events and live streams. With Webblen, you can sell your tickets for both your live and digital events for free, and you can stream directly to a local audience. And I know what you're thinking, Makai, what if I'm not interested in hosting events or streaming? Why download Webblen? Well, Webblen actually pays and rewards you for attending live events and viewing local streams. It pays to be involved. Webblen is the hyper-localized solution to actually get involved and build your community. When it comes to our industry and competitors, we're in the event ticketing, local news, community organization, and blockchain space. The value that we really focus on in the market is in regards to the event ticketing space and the live digital and media space, both totaling up to over a $2.2 trillion market. When it comes to our direct competitors, we're kind of competing with the notorious outdated local news station, as well as some ticketing platforms, an example being Eventbrite. Our indirect competitors include things like Facebook groups and Facebook advertising, and we'll touch a little bit more on that in a second here. The value proposition of Webblen. So, local news, engagement, and advertising. When it comes to developing a local audience with Webblen, it doesn't require you to actually compete with the rest of the globe for your target's attention. When it comes to ticketing, you are able to actually have free ticketing with same-day deposits. You're able to scan for tickets as well as organize purchase tickets if you happen to just purchase a ticket through Webblen. And when it comes to the company values and our business model, this is actually a product that was designed with our humanity in mind. And businesses and users profit from behavior that's actually good for humanity, as opposed to other businesses that profit from attention, depression, and addiction to technology. Webblen was created and designed to build engaged communities. The growth plan is to kind of work like a news station more so, and we're focusing on a marketing strategy similar to that of Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash. We have 2 dedicated broadcasters in each city, and we pay them, they're kind of our power users, and their job is to disrupt local news and community organization. And on the other side of things, we actually use outlets such as YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook to spread word on our movement and progress when it comes to Webblen. Our roadmap is pretty much just focused on scaling at this point. We've hard launched the product within the past 2 weeks after about 4 years of testing, iterations, and user feedback when it comes to the application. How does Webblen make money? So we make money through event ticketing because when you purchase a ticket, you pay a small fee that actually goes to us, the company. Advertisements, because local businesses can actually advertise on our platform without worrying about competition from larger entities. Stream donations, which is kind of similar to the way Twitch and TikTok viewers can actually donate to streamers, and we take a little portion of that. And then we have other resources like Local to Global, which is our brand's YouTube and podcast series, along with merchandising. A little fun thing when it comes to our usage history, where you can see we're on a dev cycle. We start to generate revenue and more users when we rolled out ticketing, and then we had to pivot and actually focus on incorporating streams into the application, and now we're actually back in a growth period. And here's some examples of things that our users have said, taking screenshots and actually put it on their stories saying, oh, I got paid to be here, as well as actually being able to know what's going on in your area. A little bit about the different people who actually use this platform with the 60-40 male to female ratio, and with habits such as technology and mobile enthusiasts. And the future is to create basically a product with the humanity in mind, and a little bit more about our team. Unique thing being that 3 of us are actually technologically inclined, and we've been growing ever since we've hard launched the product. And overall, we encourage you to be part of the mission, join the movement, download Webblen today. Find events, build your community, and get paid.
Fantastic. Great pitch, good timing as well. I was just about to jump in. So no, that worked out great. And congrats on everything that you've built thus far. It's really, really cool. Really, really sweet. Like it. What questions do we have for Webblen?
Hey, it's Candace. Can you jump in a little bit more and talk about the broadcast news angle and what the reasoning is for that particular portion of the company?
So our company is really focused on community organization as well as community involvement. One of the things, especially when it comes to the way social media set up, is that it's basically an echo chamber of different things that you're actually interested in. And when it comes to solving humanity's issues, as well as especially, being involved in your community, it's really important for there to be a source and a method to actually have conversations and understanding when it comes to what's going on around you, as opposed to just being focused globally, because that's how you build a community. You have to be able to spread information pretty much in an efficient manner. And right now, local news stations are outdated as far as I know. A lot of our users are younger and they don't watch local news. And the local news right now has to compete with larger audiences for, like global, like against global competitors. So we've been really focused on being able to connect with your community in the palm of your head. That's pretty much why we've really taken that direction.
But what is that? What does that mean for ticketing? I'm just trying to figure out why you're tackling that now versus maybe just 2 years down the road.
The local news aspect?
Yeah.
Because we're focused on being the platform, because especially when it comes to COVID-19, like with Webblen, you're able to sell tickets also to these streams. That is an opportunity for you. And we've seen that there is a lot of feedback when it comes to, yes, you can use Eventbrite to have a digital event, but then you have to use a third party, such as Zoom to actually incorporate, okay, there's a lot of friction per se. And if you have a way to actually ticket for an event that's supposed to be streamed, that is kind of in a seamless way, that's why we're like, okay, we have to actually incorporate streams in here and still match our vision when it comes to getting people involved in the community.
And so could I compare it to a Yelp ambassador?
Yes.
Got it. All right.
Hey, Mukai, first of all, wonderful pitch. Can you drill down a little bit and explain how people get paid to use your platform?
Mm-hmm. So that really goes into the technology behind Webblen, where we actually, the unique thing with blockchain and crypto tech is you're actually able to do things such as create a digital economy from Webblen. And depending on who shows up and how many people show up to a stream or event, that determines your payout, as well as how often do you actually attend events and get involved in your community. And then what we're doing first before we roll out the blockchain aspect, because that is actually a piece of technology that's actively being worked on, that we take a portion of our profits. So it's kind of it's like us taxing ourselves to distribute kind of rewards to users who are actually participating in the platform. This way that users actually don't have to think about the technology, have to deal with the barrier of knowledge of cryptos. So a profit from advertisements, profit from ticketing, merchandising, then it's actually awarded to users who are actually involved actively, depending on what events they're going to and so on.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a question. So you have about 20K in revenue, you said, and about 30,000 users. Was there a particular, can you give us an example of an event where you can kind of break down the profit margin that you guys made, how many users showed up, and were they reoccurring users that used your platform before and then keep coming back?
Mm-hmm. So the unique thing is that when it comes to the event ticketing is, if you're selling tickets, then it's free for you, and you are able to actually even get your funds the same day you sell tickets. And if you buy a ticket, we make anywhere from $1 to $2 per ticket sold. And one of the most intense events that we had sold a ticket to was actually just a little bit before COVID, where we sold around 2,000 tickets for a yacht party. Unfortunately, then we had to refund those users and kind of pivot after that.
Okay, so this was an in-person event versus a digital one.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. All right, awesome. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? I think we're good. All right. Well, Kai, that was awesome, man. Really cool app. And thanks for pitching, man.
No problem.
All right. Let's take down your screen. Okay. And I just realized that I kind of went out of order a little bit here because I was supposed to have Julia from Listing Bird go second, but we gave her a little bit of more time to prepare. So Julia, you're ready now, and okay, fantastic.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, wait. Can you just give me a minute? Can you give me a minute?
Yeah. No, we're gonna. I'll make sure you have time to go through the scoring sheet here.
Okay.
Yeah, and real quick for the judges on the scoring sheet, it's going to be, you're going to have to use the third column for Webblen, or just like slide them over, since they're slightly out of order here. So I apologize for that, guys. Yeah, just make sure you're putting the Webblen is the third column, and Listing Bird is second. So Listing Bird is going now. And let me make sure everyone is good on that. Okay, great.
Hang on, just give me a minute here.
Yep, we're good. Also, for those of you who are going to stick around for the end, we're going to give away a free Entre Pro membership at the end, and we're also going to be doing some breakout sessions for those of you who want to network and meet some other cool people. And we have a lot of other entrepreneurs and definitely some investors on here as well. So if you want to do some networking, stick around till the end. And I think you're good now, right?
I'm good.
Okay, wonderful. Let me get the stopwatch all set. And Julia, whenever you're ready.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael. And thank you for the opportunity to present to all of you today. So I'm Julia, CEO of Listing Bird. And Listing Bird is a platform that automates wholesale product sourcing for e-commerce. That means we serve our clients are people who have Shopify stores or Amazon Marketplace sellers, people who sell on eBay, Etsy, etc. And on average, all these people spend about a third of their working week procuring inventory for their stores, mostly out of China as well as a few other countries. And the imports of goods from China to United States every year is about $500 billion. But actually what we realized through personal experience is that the process of sourcing those products for an average individual United States seller or store owner is completely broken. So let me move to next slide. And there's basically three main reasons for that. So first, those sellers have really hard time finding themselves suppliers or factories in China that are good and reliable. They have really hard time differentiating between an intermediary, a trading company, an actual factory, and then avoiding some scam that is always present. Secondly, there is a really large discrepancy between negotiating power and knowledge in the market between a factory in China and a store owner in the United States. And then last but not least, the process of importing from China and other countries is really complex. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. There's a lot of regulatory requirements. You need to have the right shipping labels, certifications, customs need to get the correct forms, etc. So what happens at the end of this is that a store owner will pay easily double or triple the factory price and sort of hidden fees and intermediary fees. And then at the end, get their products stuck in somewhere in the supply chain, the customs, or somewhere else, which is massively frustrating. And all of this, despite spending a third of their work time procuring the inventory. So what we want to do at Listing Bird is we want to eliminate this entire pain point and essentially give the store owners a third of their working week back so they can lean back, relax, or work on their sales and their customers. And the way we're doing it is by automating the entire process of sourcing with two main software components. So first, we are going to build a natural language-based tool, a chatbot that we call the Bird. And it's going to work together with the backend solution, like a database system that we call the Brain. And the way it works is, as soon as we receive a purchase order from an e-commerce client in the United States, essentially we auction it with our chatbot among dozens of factories in China and a lot of shipping agents in China and other countries. And our chatbot coordinates the entire process. And once it gets the best deal, the best price on everything, it moves along to coordinate the rest of the import communication. That means it could send some notifications to the factory to produce on time. It might engage a third-party testing lab, or it might send the correct shipping labels to shipping agents, and customs gets the certifications. So overall, this ensures that the process moves forward as fast, as reliably, and cheaply as possible, with minimal frustrations and delays, as minimal as possible. And while this process is quite complex, I want to point out that it actually lends itself pretty well for software automation because it requires very little creativity, which is a weak spot of any chatbot. All of these components, forms, regulations are known in advance and publicly available. And another thing which is important for us is that we're building strong long-term relationships with all the players. Even though we're pretty aggressive in price negotiations, we bring a lot of professionalism. We reduce the time waste for factories and bring a lot of business, so they like to work with us. So next, I want to talk a little bit about our company and our team. We've been working on this since November 2019 and then transitioned to full-time in March this year. So myself, my skill set is in B2B business unit building. Before Listing Bird, I was part of another NLP startup, and I built a $5 million per year business unit there. And then the startup got acquired this March. So we partnered with my co-founder, Hussam, and he brings two skill sets to the table. So he's a very experienced full stack software engineer. And he also built his own e-commerce business that he scaled to $1 million plus by 2018. And he then partnered with 12 other sellers to build sort of partnership businesses that also generate another $1 million per year sales. So this brings me to our last slide on milestones. Even though we are a very young company, we're actually working with systems and operations that have been in place for years through all the e-commerce experience. We have our operations with China up and running, and we're receiving goods basically bi-weekly by now, which we're selling predominantly at this point through some partnership businesses. But what it does for us is it lets us test our supply chain, and we also are able to generate some revenue through this system. So in August, we turned around $10,000 worth of goods, which brought us about $2,000 in net revenue. And this is a 20% margin that we're putting on top of everything that passes through our company, essentially. So we just closed our very first paying client.
Julia, thank you so much. I have to cut you off.
This is our last slide. So this is basically all that we had.
Great. Wonderful presentation and very cool company. Congrats on everything. What questions do we have for?
Julie, just so I understand, what you're doing is you're getting large manufacturers hooked up with, with different retailers, B2B. What's that target market look like? Are you targeting medium size, larger, like like Walmart? I mean, what exactly does that look like?
Yeah, great question, Scott. Essentially, the smaller the e-commerce store owner, the more intimidating and difficult this process is for them. There is basically, I would say in the United States, there's two types of customers. One is Walmart and Best Buy and everyone in that bucket. They have their own sourcing teams and they have immense pricing power with a factory in China, and they get everything that they want. And then you can be an Amazon marketplace seller that does a couple of million a year, and there's millions of these people, but the factory is not interested in that volume that much, and you still have to go through the entire process completely alone. These kind of companies are 1 to 2 man businesses. They don't have a sourcing team or the branding power or the market like power that Amazon has, that the Walmart has. So those are our customers.
Okay, you're there for the little guy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fighting for the little guy.
Yeah. But they're not so little, you know, even a $10 million Amazon business can have like 3 people. They're pretty efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. Great pitch.
Thank you.
Julia, help me understand who you exit this company to. Like what type of company would you look to have acquire you?
That's a great question. So obviously we would be interesting for anyone who is even remotely sort of doing something like this. So a company that is right now used for the purpose is Alibaba, although Alibaba is aggregator website. They don't offer any services, which is why all these intermediaries and scammers sit on Alibaba, because Alibaba charges them a fee. They're interested in everyone on the website, and then you sort of handle it. But if we become disruptive, they would actually potentially want to acquire us. Another point is a lot of freight forwarders that are pretty big and mighty, you know, think Flexport, and might decide, okay, you know, if I'm a freight forwarder, I'm transporting all the goods anyway, I'm helping people clear customs. Now, Julia is taking all my margin because she's connected to the buyer and the end factory. I might as well, you know, buy out Julia and build the entire thing. So there are these type of players that we're thinking about. And then obviously in the United States, you know, larger companies might also think about it, like Amazon or something, but that's probably less realistic.
So it looks like you and your team have had great success in building 1 to 5, maybe $10 million companies. How do you think you can start to scale companies larger than that?
Yeah, it's a great question. I am a big believer in hiring people that are actually better than you. You know, I'm a proponent of the Netflix culture, where you hire people that are self-starters, that have good judgment, and they are there to perform, and you learn from them. So we're obviously, we know our limitations, and as any founder, we will want to get really experienced people in operations, marketing, every space that help us out beyond that threshold that you just named.
That's a great answer, Julia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ben, Sydney, any other questions?
Very impressive. I'll just jump in. I think there's obviously just tremendous long tail of people out there who come up with an idea and want to get it made and, you know, throw up a Shopify website. I mean, you have so many macro trends here. I think it's a great category to be going after. It's really impressive, your background and the thoughtfulness in the deck. If I was to have a question, just one thing that came to mind is, how would you plan on efficiently, you know, getting people aware of your business? So your acquisition strategy, and even though you launched, I don't remember if you've sort of done like a massive campaign, or, you know, so if you have sort of a strategy, go-to-market strategy, if you will, to sort of get the, you know, the product out there to be used, or I assume maybe you're still in a little bit of a, you know, early stage beta test in some respect mode, but if you want to just talk about any of that.
Yes, Ben, thank you so much. So our website is actually not fully functional in terms of being able to purchase the wholesale on it, because we pivoted the company from a different concept a few months ago. So all of the interested parties were sort of one-on-one outreach to people who are trying to purchase wholesale. I think that we are going to lean on basically 2 main points, but I'm trying to learn about this much more. So looking to learn about this area actually. So first of all, there's a lot of influencers that have power among the sellers. So sellers, they all need to learn. There's no such thing as you're completely aware of e-commerce, right? So they mostly watch YouTube, they have these newsletters. And so by positioning ourselves among these influencers that teach people how to become e-commerce expert, we would be able to get our message across to the sellers. And the second is more, you know, traditional is, I think Google pay-per-click will do us wonders, because people are searching at where can I buy wholesale, what's the price. Ultimately, delivering the best service at a good price that is hard to beat competitively, then people would just come again to you.
Cool, thank you. And I think potential acquirers also, you know, Shopify or, you know,
Yes.
or Etsy, even the marketplace themselves, to sort of verticalize their business offerings to their customers. Thank you.
Wonderful.
I
Go ahead, Sydney. Yeah.
Julia, so you were talking about your users, your first customer being at 20K in revenue. I just wanted to understand your revenue model a little bit more, if you can go into a little bit more detail, and also having transitioning from, you know, being part-time into full-time, how many customers of that kind of size would you need in order to break even?
All right, so it's two things. So first of all, I'm sorry if it was misleading. So we don't have 20,000 in revenue yet. So we started testing our model with our partner businesses. So it's called my co-founders partner businesses, and we have turned about $2,000 in net revenue for them. We just closed our very first paying customer, and these customers is also much smaller, but our website is not optimized, so you cannot actually purchase on it yet. So we basically have direct email exchange with people who are just desperate to buy the product. So we hope we have about 200 people that want to buy with us, and they're in exchange. So we expect to convert about 10% of these, which are 20 people, by the end of the year. And so we expect each of them to net us about $1,000 per year. So that means they're purchasing about $5,000 worth of goods, which means they are basically a tiny e-commerce business, like the tiniest. So we're trying to be very conservative. We're not expecting, you know, big Amazon players to come. And we're expecting the customer acquisition cost to be about $300 per client. So that's a 7-time customer acquisition cost to lifetime value. So pretty easy for us. But right now, a lot of these operations are manual, so that the human capital, if it stays this way, if we don't automate it, which is the core concept for us, then it would be very hard to break even, because it's an incredibly laborious process. And so we will, as a company, you know, in the entire bottom line will be profitable the more we automate this with the NLP and everything. But we're building that like parallel.
Great, thank you.
Wonderful job, Julia. Thank you so much. This was great. And we're going to bring up our next startup here. Dennis from One Done. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay, fantastic. We'll give it another, give me 1 second. Let me just make sure all the judges finished that. Finish listing bird. Okay, awesome. All right, and then let me reset the stopwatch here. All right, Dennis, ready whenever you are.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Dennis from Done. I'm happy to be here. And I'm one of the co-founders and CEO at Done Live and Cleaning. So Done is an online two-sided marketplace for residential cleaning services and beyond. So I'll jump into the problems right away. And we actually have two problems that we're trying to solve. The first one is the customer problem, and is that we still have to ask a friend or a doorman for a cleaning service reference in 2020. Why? Because we have a lot of unreliable and low quality services, companies, and also the complicated ordering process, no same day services, and no room cleanings at all. The other problem that we're trying to solve is for the cleaners, the providers and the cleaning industry in general is broken because a lot of providers are mistreated by companies. They're underpaid. They are low motivated, which results in a low quality of the service in general. So, and the solution is to build an ecosystem of motivated professional providers that reap the majority of the rewards and ensure our users get on-demand, high-quality services. So here's how we do it. We've developed a vetting process that involves background check of all applicants, as well as the review of previous employment, experience test. And after that process, we're moving forward to one-on-one meeting and the presentation of standards of Done. And only after that, the person becomes eligible to work at Done. So how the platform works, we call it a one-click service. The first customer book is service via the app or the web. Then the system match customer with a service provider that has been already vetted on the platform. And once the cleaning is finished, customer and the provider rate the service because if they've both been satisfied, we create a relationship between the customer and the provider. So in the future, they can work together again. Or if they're not satisfied, for example, we don't create the relationship and they don't meet again. So our customers already get the simple booking process, no commitment to subscriptions, same-day services, high-quality cleanings, 24/7 customer support, money-back satisfaction guarantee, and every cleaning is insured. So for the cleaner side, we already have 50 to 70% commission, which is more than $15 an hour at start, and we have no hourly rate. We pay per job, work when they want, community benefits, flexible payouts and bonuses, and no application fee to start. So here's a little bit about the traction. Currently, we have 4.8 out of 5, the average quality rating in 2020, which is based on the last 100 orders. We have an average customer revenue is $250. 14.6% is the average monthly retention of our customers. The $250 and 14.6% is based on the last 3 months. And we also, in September, we come in top 3 best house cleaners in Brooklyn by expertise.com. So here's some of our competitors. The TaskRabbit, I think most of you know, which is a freelance platform where you would need to spend 40 to 60 minutes to get a freelancer for your task. MyClean is a cleaning company that it has limited coverage that operates only in 3 states and using employees, which makes it impossible to grow bigger. Hello Alfred has limited coverage because it provides services only for luxury buildings. Handy as well, cleaners underpaid, have a lot of charges, and as well provide a bad quality cleanings, which you can see below on the overall rating from Yelp. For the market overview, the cleaning industry is a $61 billion industry, which projected to increase by $2 billion by 2023. 55% of the companies lose due to satisfaction. That is why we care about the quality of our cleanings. 10% above average growth in the US projected in the industry, and 25% of cleaning services outsourced for the commercial cleaning services as well. For our business model, we take 30 to 50% commission from each cleaning, which results in around $54. And we project to have $400,000 revenue by the end of 2021 with a positive cash flow as well. For the team of founders, I'm the co-founder and CEO. Previously, I have an experience working in the industry as well. I've been managing over 100 properties in New York and New Jersey for short-term rentals, for cleaning and maintenance. Before, I was also co-founding other projects. Alexei, also the co-founder and CFO at Done, who have an experience in cleaning industry over 4 years. Igor, our developer, who had an experience leading in other companies, co-founding other companies as well, mostly experience in iOS engineering and have a lot of experience. For the rest of
I'm gonna have to cut you off there, Dennis. Sorry, we're over the 5-minute mark.
Okay.
Great presentation though, and I'm looking forward to hearing the judges' questions on this one for sure.
Okay, thank you.
I can start if you like. So thank you so much for the presentation, Dennis. It was really, it was very well done. And so we did actually have a similar company that started in Canada. So I'd like to challenge you on what they did well, what they didn't do well. So they tried to start something like TaskRabbit here in Canada. The problem was due to the population and due to the fact that it wasn't very protectable in terms of their business model. So what happened was that a lot of the cleaners, because it was just actually all cleaners on this particular app, A lot of the cleaners then built private relationships with the people that were the direct clients and then cut out the middleman, which is what you're playing. So I'm wondering, in terms of the defensibility, how are you able to have that kind of barrier to entry so then you won't be cut out? Like, what is your strategy there?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So first, what we do is while we have the presentation of the company with the providers, we of course mentioned that is not legal to do so by our terms of service, but we understand that people still break the rules. So we're mostly thinking to focus on developing the technology that would actually be able to track the providers if they actually come to the same place without basically ordering through the platform. If it's happening, like, of course, privately, if it's happening like a few times, then we can just ask if providers to provide services without us knowing, so we can manage and see if it happens. It hasn't happened before, but we're looking to that. We know that it's a big problem, and it affects not only the cleaning industry, it affects a lot of other industries as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing that did come up, and I don't know if you guys have thought of this, or maybe you could use it as a part of that defense mechanism, is insurance in terms of things going wrong, damages, robberies, or things like that. So do you have an insurance policy? And is that something that you can maybe possibly use as a part of why people feel more secure using your platform, if you do? And how are you going to go about that?
Yeah, currently we're looking to partner with insurance companies that provide insurance services for on-demand platforms. This type of insurances are allowed for, this type of insurances companies like TaskRabbit and Handy already have. So we're mostly looking to either, once we become bigger, partner with this kind of companies, or there is more diverse on-demand insurance companies that are coming to New York right now. So yeah, we're looking to get insurance to each customer.
Thank you.
So tell me how you plan to scale outside of New York.
We actually, before the pandemic, we had the onboarding process that would require us meeting with providers in person. And since the pandemic started, we had to rethink of the process. And right now, we've created in a way that we can purely provide it online. So basically, we would just have the technology and expand to other cities using the same onboarding process, because the most important part of the project is to actually find these professionals that are qualified and that can provide a high quality cleanings, and then market in the cities.
And tell me, what's your why? So I ask this because it looks like, as a group of co-founders, you guys are quite a crew of hustlers, right? So you've been managing short-term rentals, right? And that typically happens with kind of a younger group of people. They go in, they get in with a group of kind of like property managers, and you can go in and manage their Airbnb. So I see the hustle factor of your team. But tell me, like, why are you passionate about this work?
So yes, previously we've managed Airbnb properties, as you mentioned, and I had my own cleaners team that I was working with on commission based, as well as I actually started as a cleaner. And I understand the industry from the inside, and I see how companies are like treating cleaners in general in the United States. And that's how we come up with the idea of actually like thinking cleaners first rather than customers. And even the pricing system, when we create the prices for the services, we think of how much would provider actually like earn first, and then how much we would charge the customer. So this is the mindset and the idea behind.
Thank you, Dennis.
Dennis, what's your process for quality control? Like, I mean, you're hiring out independent people, you're sending them to different places. How are you monitoring how good a job they're doing?
So currently, we have the technology behind the company. We have backend architecture, and currently we monitor by the rating of the customer and the rating of the provider as well. And if the cleaning was rated by 4 or 5 stars, we create a relationship between customer and cleaner so that they can meet in the future. If the cleaning was rated with 3 or less stars, then we never suggest this relationship again. And as well as currently, we personally monitor each first cleaning of new providers for like the first 5 cleanings to ensure that they are able to provide high quality services. We're asking our customers as well to make sure that they are receiving the high quality service.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Great job, Dennis. I gotta move things along here just for time, but thank you so much and congrats, man. Great pitch.
Thank you.
And yeah, looking forward to seeing how this grows for sure. Next up, we have Natalie from Green Abulations. Natalie, are you still here? And can you come on and let's share your screen?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, quietly, but I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you move your mic maybe a little bit closer?
Hold on. Is that better?
Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're good. Let me just check the judges.
Yeah, give me just a second here.
You're good. Can you
I'll just get prepped, and when you guys are ready, then.
Can you share your screen, Natalie?
Sure, will do.
Okay, wonderful. And let me reset the stopwatch here.
Okay, I'm good.
All right. And there we are. There we go. Okay, I'm ready when you are, Natalie.
Thank you. I'm going to start tonight with a question for everyone. How much trash is in your shower right now? When only 9% of plastic is recycled worldwide, your bathroom is a landfill. As kids, we learned the mantra, reduce, reuse, recycle. But in recent years, the process of recycling plastic has become a losing enterprise. Even this week, in my hometown of Philadelphia, they admitted once again to burning recycling because it's too expensive for the city to process responsibly. This reality challenges us to rethink. Recycling plastic is not enough. Recycling plastic is irresponsible. Green Abulations is solving the plastic pollution crisis in your bathroom with sustainable shampoo and conditioner bars. These vegan bars provide salon quality style without the waste. Crafted with gentle coconut surfactants and natural oils, they perform better than bottled products using the water that's already in your shower. Each concentrated bar replaces up to 3 plastic bottles. And they're excellent travel companions too. We offer matching waterproof tins to take them on the go when we're able to do so. Consumers want sustainable options. A study last year by Shelton Group found that 80% of Americans said they would buy products that don't use plastic if they were available. A recent study by the National Retail Federation reported that 70% of consumers in the US said it's important that a brand is sustainable. 2/3 of millennials reported boycotting a brand that didn't align with their values. Moreover, governments across the globe are responding to environmental threats with bans on single-use plastic. Our bars come in recycled paper packaging. It's curbside recyclable and home compostable. I started Green Abulations because I couldn't find the plastic-free products that worked for myself and my family. Using my background in mechanical engineering and project management, I've bootstrapped this idea to reality. In January, I launched through a local farmers market. This gave me an opportunity to speak one-on-one with customers and get product feedback while keeping overhead low. When the COVID shutdown hit in March, I quickly pivoted to online sales. In June, I started wholesale partnerships. Products are currently on sale at 9 locations in the Philadelphia area. Most recently, we started offering our first limited edition bars. As we move into 2021, we'll be rolling out new options to test market reaction and also drive repeat sales. Initial traction has been very positive. Just this week, we were featured in Philadelphia Magazine. I'm immensely proud to have launched this company in the middle of a pandemic while also homeschooling 2 kids. Each bar has a general consumption rate of 3 to 5 months, or about 80 washes. So we're just starting to see customers coming back for second purchases. I'm working to implement a subscription option through the website to capital on this frequency. Our customers spend about $34 per purchase. Customer marketing and acquisition costs are currently $11.54. This cost is rapidly coming down. In the future, I expect to spend about $2 to $3 per customer. 6 retail outlets have already reordered twice, increasing their order about 25% each time. I'm a solo founder, a team of 1. Every product picture you see was taken by me. Every label, the website, the social media presence, the packaging, the logistics, it's all me. And I need to add to my team. I'm looking to raise $250,000 in the next year to expand my brand awareness. I plan to add a full-time social media manager. I want to partner with a third-party logistics carrier to handle packaging and delivery. And I want to purchase additional inventory as the business scales. I'm happy to take your questions now.
Wonderful pitch and good timing too. I think you're the first one to be under 5 minutes so far. Very well done. Definitely tell that you practice that a lot, and a lot of people in the comments were loving this idea. It looks like we have a lot of people that are big on sustainability. So this is awesome. Very cool product, and I'm curious to see what the judges think.
Yeah, Natalie, first of all, I'm really impressed with just your grasp of the figures and how, and just what you've really put together so far. My question is, it seems like you're going for a retail distribution right now. What do you see as you start to scale? How do you see this really distributing, out to a wider public?
So actually, my preference really is to do direct to consumer. I started with some retail opportunities, being new to consumer products. The stores that I went to were the stores that I normally shop at. The places where when I couldn't find this product, they were the places I went to look for it. So it was a pretty easy sell to go to those stores and say, hey, I'm a customer. I'm trying to find this. You don't have it, but now I've got it. Let's put it on your shelves. In the future, I'd really like more of the sales to go through the website, but in having some of the product on the shelves, especially at the smaller retailers in the area, it definitely helps build a presence, because none of the stores are carrying the full line. They're carrying 1 cent or 2 cents, but nobody has everything. So I have a lot of customers that will buy it at the store and then come back, buy something from the website because they found something on the website that they also wanted to try as well.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about how you're coming to the formulations. Who on your team is doing that?
So as I said, I'm a solo founder. So I sought out my formulation partner and worked with them to have products that I wanted. Currently, there are 3 products as part of our main line. There's an unscented product, which was important to me for people who have allergies, especially. I'm prone to having scent-induced migraines. So I wanted something that had no fragrance at all and no additional fragrance masking additives. So it was important to have a fragrance-free. I have a peppermint, which is scented with peppermint essential oil, which is really nice and refreshing and invigorating. And I also have a Moroccan argan oil product, and that has a light fragrance, something that I can use every day without driving my migraines crazy, but also gives me the extra moisture that I need because I have very thick, dry, curly hair.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask this question as a person who just like hates to have a mess in the shower. Okay, so we're all trying to move toward like having a more sustainable future.
Yep.
But I don't want to mess with soap bars. So how can I use this but keep my shower space clean? What is your suggestion?
I mean, the bars themselves are not that invasive. This is one of them wrapped up, as you can see. It's not that big. I keep my bars in the shower when I'm using them and out of the shower when I'm not. That way they dry in between and they don't leave the mess that some soap bars, when they sit in water, you're just running product down the drain.
Yeah.
Same thing with this. You want to keep it dry in between uses. So a lot of our customers will use the travel set and store it in that outside of the shower, let it dry in between, and then they don't have the mess that you're talking about.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Ben, Sydney?
Nope, but I'm gonna need a minute.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank
Very
you.
well done, Natalie. Thank you so much. And we'll shut your screen sharing down, and we'll let the judges tally up for Green Abulations, and then we have our final startup, Ricky from Lila. I think Ricky's here. So if you can come on, and we'll bring up your screen, and you can go through your pitch to wrap things up here.
Okay.
Wonderful. How's it going, Ricky?
Great.
Thanks for being here.
Great to be here. It's been great to hear all these pitches.
Fantastic. Yeah, we're excited to have you here, and I'm super thrilled to see your presentation on your company. It's very interesting, and I'm excited to learn more, and I'm sure the judges are as well.
All right. So here we go.
Okay, great. If you can make that full screen.
Yeah, one second, please.
You're good.
How's that?
Yeah, that's if you want to do it like that, that's fine. I don't know if there's a full, if there's a, yeah, that, yeah, there you go. Beautiful. And let me reset the stopwatch here. All right, let me check the judges' scores. Looks like everyone is good to go. All right, Ricky.
Okay, so it's actually pronounced Lila. And
Lila, sorry.
It's all right. No, we get that a lot. But Lila is a Sanskrit word that means divine play. Okay? And so I'm going to start. This pitch with a story. So my name is Ricky Williams, and I am a co-founder and CEO of Lila. And if you're a sports fan, you probably recognize my name because I played in the NFL for 11 seasons. Okay? And if you don't follow sports, you may have heard my name back in 2004 because I made the news for abruptly retiring during the middle of my NFL football career. And really what was going on was, you know, when I was a kid, I had a desire to be rich and famous and to do something positive in the world. And so I followed the traditional steps for an African-American who's a good athlete, and I became a professional athlete. And like most people, you know, who we're conditioned to be or who we think we are, as we go through life, we find out that there's so much more to who we are. And a key moment for me in that journey was when I retired in the middle of my career. I discovered astrology, and it really opened a lot of doors to me and gave me an objective idea of who I was and what my purpose was. And also at that moment, I realized that a majority of my relationships, friendships, and romantic relationships were also based on this false idea of who I was, right? So I was so interested in astrology and how helpful it was that I really dove in and started to study it passionately, okay? And that was about 16 years ago. Fast forward to 5 years ago, I decided to take my astrological studies more seriously, and I sought out the best teacher in the land, an astrologer by the name of Stephen Forrest. And in May of 2017, I took my first astrology class on what's called synastry, or relationship astrology. And to set the stage, I was a year out of a divorce, and I had just started a new relationship. And so I was raw. And I had a lot of questions about the failed relationship and a lot of questions about this new relationship. And so after this class, I was so blown away by what I learned that I went up to the teacher, Stephen Forrest, and I said, we got to find a way to get this information out into the world. And so I'll start with the problem. The problem, we can look at it different ways. We can look at the divorce rate. We can look at the epidemic of loneliness, especially during COVID. People are forced to relate intimately to the people in their lives, and a lot of people are having a difficult time with this. And so Lila is about helping people to relate deeper. And we broke down relationship into 3 dimensions, okay? So we're calling Lila the ultimate relationship app. And the first dimension that Lila starts with is self-discovery. And the idea of you have to know yourself and love yourself before you can really have a meaningful relationship. You know, one of our taglines is know yourself, love yourself, invite others to the party, which brings me to the second dimension of relationship for us, and that's social discovery, what people tend to call dating, but this also works in platonic relationships. And this is really about connecting to other people who also are on this journey of understanding themselves better. And the third dimension of relationship, where I think we separate ourselves from the direct and indirect competition, is that we assist people in actually building the relationship. So the idea is with self-discovery, it's about wake up, social discovery, connect with other people that are waking up, and relationship building. It's about building a woke relationship. So the market right now is, you know, when we first started this, you know, to have an ease of language, we described ourselves as an astrological dating app. But we found pretty soon that a lot of VCs and angels have been burned by dating apps. And so we quickly had to start thinking about what are we really? And this is where we came up with the idea of we're more than a dating app. We're an astrological ultimate relationship app. And so market in the dating industry, there's $7 billion in 2019. In Mystic Services, 2.2 billion. And if you look here at the astrology app spend, there's about a 65% year-over-year growth, which leads me to our competition, direct and indirect. Because our sole focus is relationship, you know, we're a little bit different than CoStar, The Pattern, and Sanctuary, which are really astrological apps. They give people insights on life in general. And then we have Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, dating apps. The direct competition that we see on the horizon is The Pattern is working on a relationship module inside of their app. And I want to jump to the team because I think it's really our differentiating factor. I mentioned Stephen Forrest, my teacher. He's the author of over 12 books, and he's been practicing counseling astrology, sitting with real life people for over 50 years. And as a student of Stephen and a student of astrology, part of this is really a passion play of finding a way to scale Stephen's wisdom. And it helped me in navigate my relationships. And I know that it can help a whole lot of people navigate relationships. And so when we first started, it was my wife and myself. We had a great idea with Stephen's backing, but we really didn't have any experience in developing an app. And synchronistically, coincidentally, luckily, my brother-in-law, Matt Cohen, who's our CEO, actually was a CEO of his own startup, a social discovery app called Roll Random. And on his own, through guerrilla marketing, he was able to scale to over 100,000 users. And so his experience when he came on the team really helped us take this to the next level, helped us take an idea and a dream and turn it into something real. And so we're using a
great job, Ricky. I gotta cut you off there, just to make it fair for all the other companies, since we went over 5 minutes. But really, really great presentation, and this is something that's super interesting for me, and something I think is definitely on the up and up. And I'm curious to see what the judges think and their questions for you in this, and hopefully get to some of the other slides that you have here too.
Yeah. Ricky, first of all, really interesting, articulate pitch. You started to talk about the revenue model and subscription model. Currently, is this launched? Do you have revenue currently? Or?
No, we don't. We finished our MVP about a month ago, and we did a couple of weeks of internal beta testing, and we decided to iterate a little bit. And so the plan is to do a soft launch in October, and to open up external beta testing in the next couple of weeks.
And how do you? What's your plan to really get this out into the public?
Yeah, so the plan is to launch in Southern California, because Southern California tends to be more open to astrology and this kind of thinking, and really utilize guerrilla marketing and utilizing my star power and Steven's star power to have a big media push. And also we're thinking about really focusing on podcasts. That's a way to get in front of a lot of potential users. And it doesn't cost us anything. So the idea is to launch in Southern California and find product market fit there. And once we do that, to take it to New York and then to South Florida, and keep expanding into larger markets.
Thank you.
So Ricky, tell me a little bit more, like specifically around, so there was a slide, and maybe back up a few slides, where you kind of discussed the astrology market. Maybe it's one more before this. Yes, right here. Yes. So you're saying like Mystic Services, $2.2 billion in 2019, but this astrology app spend is relatively low. So tell me why you think that is.
Well, because I think astrology is so new, and honestly, most of the people, I've done a lot of research on the quality of the astrological apps out there, and they're just not very practical. They're great for people that have spent time studying and understand the planets and all that stuff, but for the everyday person, it's too much. And so a big part of why I love Steven is he's found a way over the years, and he's really a masterful writer. And in writing, he's had to find ways to pare down the language without losing its potency. And so I think these astrology apps haven't done a good job connecting to the everyday user. And I think another thing is most of the trend is most of the people that are really into astrology tend to be younger, and they don't have access to the kind of funds that older, more mature people tend to have. And the way we're dealing with that is we have a sense that our the initial users are gonna skew young, but really the content is written for a more mature audience, people that have been through relationships and understand the ups and downs of them.
So you described like other people on your team and their skill sets, and some people have managed tech products before. You haven't, which is totally fine. Can you explain though what you've learned through the beta testing process as a founder? Yeah, so what I've learned is again, when I was at the class with my wife and Steven, and my mind was blown, and we had this great idea. I had all these ideas about what I think people are gonna like. And through the internal beta testing, I realized that the ideas of what I think people are gonna like, aren't always right on. And to be able to be open and listen to everyone's voices, and realizing that as we come together, this is gonna work better if we do it as a team. An interesting side note is on our team, about half of our team has a pretty decent understanding of astrology, and half of our team doesn't. And this has been very helpful to help us make sure we're speaking a language that the layperson can understand. And that's been extremely helpful. So really just being open to other people's opinions and appreciating what everyone has to offer to this project. So I think that you're going to have an interesting path to funding this company, right? So it's going to take an incredible group of investors that understands this type of company, right? Religion, spirituality is all very personal. So what do you think about when you think about that funding pathway for your company? Yeah, so, right now, my wife and I, we put in about 150, and we've raised another 85 from friends and family. Interesting, note here is that our first
friends and family investor was my ex-wife. So, you know, it speaks to the quality of how this information can really help people navigate relationships, getting in and getting out. So, you know, my sense is, you know, if we can get to launch and get some traction, I think, you know, I'm confident that we're going to have the numbers to be attractive to more conventional investors. But to really take it to the next level, you know, my sense is that there's going to be someone that looks at what we're doing, who has the resources and is going to invest, yeah, because they want to make money, but because they see the larger vision. You know, and I think COVID has really brought so many things to the surface of the old way of living, the old way of doing things is not working anymore. And relationships, I think, are on the top of the list. And so, you know, as far as growth, is people are always gonna be looking for more insights and how to understand themselves better and navigate their relationships better. And the thing about astrology is the planets are always moving, so there's content for eternity.
I love it. Thanks for your passion, Ricky. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sydney, were you gonna go?
No, I don't think that I have any particular questions. I think it was answered by Candace. Thank you.
Okay, great. Ben, do you have anything?
Nothing on my end. Thank you, Ricky. Really cool.
I was going to say, Ben, I looked up the etymology of the word failure a couple weeks ago, and it means to stumble, you know? And so I think we think of failure means it's the end, but really the root of the word means to stumble. And so it's like we all need to fail a little bit to be able to learn to catch our balance.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah. I love that. And I like to look at it as an experiment, right? Like it's just, you know, trying new things, like, you know, going through, there's a lot of ups and downs with entrepreneurship and whatnot, but really glad you were able to make it here, Ricky, and very, very cool. Let me know when it's out. I'd love to beta test it. I've tried out the pattern. It's a little, you know, like you said, it doesn't keep me coming back to it, and it's a little like too deep. So, you know, I think what you're doing is fascinating. I'd love to try it out too, and drop any links or whatever that you have so other people can try it out here as well. Would love to help in any way that we can with it, for sure.
Yeah. And failure is only failure if you let it get the best of you.
Amen.
Also true, Scott. All right. Well, I'll give the judges another minute here to tally up their final scores. It looks like it's going to be a very close race here from what I'm seeing on the back end. And for those of you who stuck around, we want to give out a free Entre Pro membership as well. So how we're going to do this is I like to we'll do basically a quiz, and the first person to put the correct answer in the chat is going to win the free membership for a year. And what that gets you is free tickets to all of our events and access to all the deals and discounts on the app, which is over $20,000 worth of software services and all sorts of cool stuff. So I want to, and we'll make this about one of the investors and the judges. So hopefully you're paying attention to their intro, and if not, then you can maybe do some quick research. But I want to do it. If you're paying attention, I'd love for the first person to answer the question of who Ben, the super angel, was his first investment, and which startup was that, and which is now, oh, well, we already got someone. Jijesh got it. Boom. Quip. All right, my man, Jijesh, I'm going to, wow, that was fast. I don't even think I had it out of my mouth, and he got that. So I'll shoot you, send me I'll message you privately. All I'll need is your Entre username, and then we can just upgrade your account right here. And that was quick. That was super, super quick. Ben, I guess a lot of people really know your portfolio well, man.
I love it. I love it. Getquip.com. I wish I had a promo code for everyone, but for those, but.
Yeah. Okay,
They're
and
not too expensive.
well, awesome. Okay, and I think are all the judges good? Everyone's locked in with their final scores here. And all right. So yeah, we have a tight one. This is great. So I'm gonna start with, so all of the finalists get a free Entre Pro membership. They'll get $1,000 to Net Capital, which I'm not sure if they're still with us or not. I don't think Rob is still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh,
Just
cool.
so you know.
Rob, great. Yeah, I'd love to have you, for people who came on late, great. I'd love to have you share a little bit about Net Capital again for those who missed it, and any thoughts that you had about the competition.
Yeah, no problem. The competition was great. It was thanks to all the entrepreneurs who took the time to pitch to all of us, and kind of, I'm really excited to see kind of where all these companies end up. A lot of really interesting ideas. I'll keep it brief, but for anyone who wasn't here at the beginning, Net Capital is an online funding portal. We help companies raise capital, and we allow investors to invest in private companies for as little as $1 actually, but typically the average minimum investment's around $100. It doesn't matter whether you're accredited or not. You can come and invest in companies. And for any entrepreneurs out there looking to raise capital, if you're looking for an alternative way, you don't know a VC or angel or want kind of everyday people to be able to invest in your deal, feel free to come reach out to us, come to netcapital.com, and we'd be happy to help any way we can.
Really appreciate it, Rob, and thanks for sticking around, for sure. And
of course.
All right, without further ado, so all the finalists get free Entre Pro memberships, $1,000 towards Net Capital if they do a campaign. They all get a free meeting with Scott, so that's gonna be cool. One of the judges, and they also get a year for VentureX, which is Sydney's company. So besides that, the winner gets $500 in cash and $1,000 in credit towards ID Motive to build out their technology or whatever it is that they're doing. Second place gets $500 in credit, and then third place gets $250 in credit towards ID Motive. All right. Since we can't do like any cool drum roll or anything, I'm just gonna go right into it with our third place winner, which is Ruby Ride. So congratulations to Jeff and Aiden. Great pitch, very well done, and I'm excited to see how you guys disrupt that whole industry. It's really fantastic. Second place, we have Green Abulations. And Natalie, I think what you're doing is really, really cool. Congratulations to everything that you've done so far. And yeah, I think it's great. And the winner by actually just 1 point over Green Abulations is Listing Bird. So congratulations to Julia at Listing Bird. You're the winner of the $500 and $1,000 worth of credit towards ID Motive as well.
Wow.
And yeah, congratulations to the others. I mean, it was super close. So everything was pretty much like neck and neck the whole time. So congratulations to all the other startups. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope it was great getting some awareness and being able to pitch and hear some feedback from some investors. We will be making introductions with you and the investors as well, just so you have a follow-up there. And there's a lot of other investors on our app and in our network. So if there's anything that we can do to help you guys, just let us know. And obviously would love to have you check out, be part of the app and come into our community and everything. And that pretty much does it. So I know we're kind of over on time. It's almost 8 o'clock, but thank you so much for everyone sticking around. If you want to hang on and network, we're going to do probably a couple breakout sessions so you can meet some of the other attendees if you want and do some networking, since it's really hard to meet new people right now, given the whole virtual world. And yeah, but thank you so much for hanging out with us all night. This was really cool. The startups were awesome. And I'd love to have any of the judges say no final thoughts or where other people can learn more about them and their firms or where people can follow them before we get into the networking. So if whoever wants to go first, yeah, Sydney, Ben, Candace.
Yeah, so I'm at Candace Brackeen on most social media platforms, and our website is lightship.capital. That's a great place to apply for funding or any of the programs that we offer through our accelerator and bootcamp.
Thanks, Candace. First of all, I just, as a judge, I fell right in line with what Michael said. It was, they were all so close, and I really felt the passion and the heart from each of the participants. So thank you very much. I'm Scott Kalick. You can view my website at scottkalick.com, and I work with startups as a business coach, as an advisor, and as an investor. So I'll look forward to talking with everybody, and thank you so much for showing up tonight.
I'm Sydney, and our website is www.venturx.ca because I am Canadian. And so thank you so much for with your lovely presentation. It is very impressive that some of you with teams as small as one have gotten so far in such short time. So that is really great and inspiring for all entrepreneurs in the community to see. So I can't wait for this recording to go up. So thank you so much, Michael and his team as well. And yeah, so feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn. And if you want to follow our blog at blog.venturx.ca, there are a bunch of free templates that you can use for all your data room files. So you don't have to do them from scratch. You can feel free to download any of those too at your convenience. Thank you.
Ben, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, for sure. I got cut off for a second.
You're good. You're good.
So I might have missed what this was about, but just, yeah, as a final outro, thank you guys all so much. Just, I'll leave the founders with one note that was given to me, or rather that I read about from, a company doesn't, die or end because you run out of money. It sort of comes to a close when the founder runs out of energy. So there's always creative ways to keep pushing forward. And so I urge everyone, these were all extremely promising ideas, very well thought out, nice presentations, and there's no question, all the founders presented had a lot of passion for what they were doing. So I urge you to continue forward and, just keep pushing ahead. And I'm always, I'm available at my email, which I put in the chat, superangel.vc, at bzises on Twitter. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, the rest of the judges. Appreciate everyone's time tonight, and feel free to connect with me in any way you're comfortable with.
Really appreciate it, Ben. And thank you to all the judges for taking the time out of your day to help and give some feedback to some of the startups. I thought this was awesome. I just dropped the link to our YouTube channel where the recording of this is going to be up. If anyone wants to check it out, and if anyone wants to share it or whatever, there's a ton of other content that we have on our YouTube from our past events with a bunch of VCs, angels, and founders. So that you guys can check out as well. But that pretty much does it. So unless you're sticking around for networking, thank you. Have a great night. Have a great rest of your week. And let us know how we can be helpful. Feel free to, shoot me an email. I just dropped in my email and LinkedIn and my Entre profile too. So feel free to hit me up on the app. I answer every single message for any user. So thanks so much, guys.